Hey folks, it's Lev. Welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new, I use he and pronouns. Yeah, I've been smiling a lot recently because I really feel like I've gotten myself back after a lot of challenges that have happened in the past few months, and I feel like I've gotten myself back and I'm really... When people ask me how I'm doing, I use the word I'm thriving, which is... I love it, and it's like... It's great, honestly. Today is July 11th, 2021, and tomorrow, on July 12th, 2021, I will be officially 6 months on testosterone. So I'm literally less than 1 day away from being 6 months on testosterone. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. Just a little reflection about my entire, testosterone hormone replacement therapy journey. And I want to talk about specifically what happened before I went on testosterone, because I feel like it's not talked about enough. The decision beforehand the process of making the decision to actually go on testosterone. Um, it's not an easy journey. Like, a lot of people share awesome stories about the changes they've gone through on testosterone and all of that good stuff, but the difficult times, more say, not the difficult side effects of testosterone, more like what happened before the decision to go on testosterone and actually getting the first dose of testosterone, and that's mostly what I'm going to be focused on today. For those of you who are new and have never seen me before, and this is your first video, some context: I'm a trans man, and I'm also pansexual and panromantic. I came out as a trans man at the start of last year, so January last year I came out as a trans man. February last year, February 2020, I got my first short haircut and started socially transitioning and living as a man. I changed my name to Lev in August of last year. Socially, I changed my name to Lev legally this year in March, and I started testosterone on the 12th of January 2021. So that's a brief context for those of you who have never seen me before. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. It's even before I came out as trans and came to realize I'm trans and that whole aspect of my identity, I felt gravitated towards going on testosterone. I remember in mid 2019, I felt this very strong pull to, go on testosterone, and I didn't know why. I was still trying to understand. Actually, I was suppressing my trans identity back then, and navigating this whole area because I was scared and I was in uni and I didn't want to deal with it, so I suppressed the whole exploring my trans identity aspect thing for a very long time. And yeah, in mid 2019, I really felt this pull towards going on testosterone, and I was thinking like, I just need to go on testosterone, but I didn't know why. um I like, it didn't hit me then that, you're trans, you feel dysphoric in your body, and you wouldn't want things to change. That sort of thought didn't... It wasn't that logical and clear in my mind. I just felt pulled towards going on testosterone because I felt uncomfortable with some aspect of myself. Okay, now forwarding to last year. Last year, for those of you who haven't watched the other videos, I was going through a lot of internalized transphobia as well. So when I first came out as trans, I was very ashamed of my identity, felt very guilty, absolutely hated myself, absolutely treated myself, and saw myself as an absolute piece of garbage, and saw myself as very negative and unhelpful things, such as a freak and abnormal and something's wrong with me, and why, like, I'm some sort of monster. Because of all of the internalized transphobia, I just made it a part of who I am. And part of last year was seeing a gender therapist and working through a lot of this internalized transphobia, as well as start talking about whether I should go on whether to go on testosterone or not. So deep down, unconsciously, for many years now, I knew that I had to go on testosterone and that I needed to go on testosterone most importantly for my mental health and well-being and feeling most me in this world and living the best life I can. But last year, even the thought of going testosterone really scared me, and let me elaborate on why. I apologize for that weird jump cut in the previous scene of previous section of the video. Yep, the thought of testosterone really scared me, mostly because I didn't really know much about it. I knew that it was like a masculinizing hormone, and that I would get changes like a deep voice, but didn't really know much about it. And I guess in my headspace last year, I was already really vulnerable, and I don't know, it's weird because the thought of just like, going online and doing some research or talking to my GP about starting testosterone, that didn't click in my mind. Like I felt really stuck, um, ruminating in my own head about, you know, what if all of these side effects, and because I also have like medical conditions, and I was scared of testosterone possibly making it worse. And that's because I didn't really know much about how testosterone works and interacts with different things. And yeah, I felt really stuck in my own head, and I was just ruminating. And I also was thinking, I'll probably just have to overcome my medical concerns first and wait for that to go into remission before I can start testosterone, which is completely false because once I talked to my GP about it and started building knowledge of how testosterone works and interacts with my body, um, it concluded that was pretty safe and not dangerous at all. But again, at the time, I was in that vulnerable state, and I it didn't hit me that I don't have to go through it alone, and I can ask for help to ease my fears and clarify uncertainty per se. But that didn't click. That I didn't do that because that didn't even come to mind for me. Even though it seems so obvious to like do some research and speak to a health professional about it, it didn't hit me. And I guess this staying in this, I don't know how testosterone is gonna affect me, but I'm really gravitating towards it, and being stuck and not knowing what to do, not having a clear idea where to go, because again, it wasn't clear to me that the obvious thing to do was research and go speak to a GP about it. It's I was just lingering in uncertainty for a very long time, and it destroyed my mental health. Even when the idea of seeing a GP and speaking to a health professional about possibly starting testosterone, I was I procrastinated on doing that a lot, even though I knew I wanted to go on hormones and that would improve my mental health. I'm not saying completely eliminate dysphoria. I'm saying it would improve it significantly by reducing dysphoria and making me feel more comfortable in my own skin and body. But it's not like a magic cure or anything. I knew that, but like I was hesitant to go to speak to a GP about it because I was still scared of something deep down. And yeah, I procrastinated for so long, even though this thing was important to me. I just remember I was also really worried about the cost because I thought it was going to be super expensive. I mean, it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but it's like manageable and it's affordable. Um, and I was also worried, like, I had many questions about how testosterone was going to affect my body. And again, like, I just stayed in this uncertainty. And also, the other big thing that held me back and I was quite worried about is the possibility of not being able to have biological children in the future because testosterone can possibly, I'm saying possibly because it really depends on the person, and there isn't enough research done on this to like have, you know, a strong conclusion. So I might not be able to have biological kids in the future, and that also scared me. And I ruminated about that for months. It's like, okay, but like, what if I want kids in the future and I can't have biological kids? And would I regret my decision to go on testosterone early on in my life? So I'm only 23. I'm turning 24 next month. I'm still pretty young, and I was just like so scared, like, oh shit, what if I can't have biological kids? I'm gonna regret it. and all of that. But at the time last year, it didn't hit me like that my mental health was the first priority, and that, if I'm not content enough myself, I would not be a good father anyway. And I would consider myself to be psychologically unable to properly look after kids and, nurture them and give them the time and attention and effort to help them be the best kid they can be. Like, if I was not okay and content with myself, I would just project all of my trauma and difficult experiences onto my kid. And I didn't, and that was what didn't hit me last year when I was in this cloud of uncertainty, that if I didn't prioritize myself and grow to be the best person I can be before actually having kids, then I'm just gonna screw my kids up, and I would not be able to live guilt free from doing that. I have heard stories and seen documentaries and videos of childhood neglect and all of the, even if a parent is like just not giving the kid the appropriate time, nurture, care, and everything the kid needs to be the best kid they can be and grow to be the healthiest kid. I know how much it can mess and affect the kid up emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, physically, in the long run. Like, things happen in childhood trauma carries on to adulthood and affects people in adulthood. Like, I'm very aware of the chain of events that can happen and go on. That's why, like, after I guess get seeking answers, talking to people, talking to my GP and stuff like that, I came to the really strong conclusion that I'm not gonna have kids unless I feel content enough myself where I'm at, am able to look after myself, um, and all of that before I have kids. Because again, I do not wanna project my trauma onto my kids and then they carry that throughout their childhood, teenage years, and then adulthood. Because that's not fair. Like, I don't see the point in having kids if I, firstly, don't want them, and secondly, I can't look after them and care for them. So it took many months of, I guess, self discovery, overcoming internalized transphobia, realizing things about myself and the future, that I came to the conclusion that yes, I will be going on testosterone and I will be doing it right, like, as ASAP, and not waiting for years down the line for my medical condition to go into remission, or whenever I decide to have kids and, meet a partner, have a partner. No, I'm just like, all of that's in the future, and the future's uncertain, and I don't know what I want in the future. Like, I might not even want biological kids in the future, and I'm assuming that I want biological kids in the future at the expense of my own mental health. And what I'm talking about last year, not now. So, um, I needed to go on testosterone because I'm just miserable and not content enough myself, and I'm not living the best life I can. Um, and I know that I need it right now for my mental health. I know my body and mind have been screaming at me, Lev, you need to go on testosterone. You need to go on testosterone. But I've not been listening to it for a very long time, and I need to act on it, what I need right now and what's good for me right now, because I know that that's what I need right now. And again, the future's uncertain. You don't know. I don't know what I want in the future. I don't know what I need in the future. I don't know what's going to come up in the future. So I'm just working with what I info I have now, and acting accordingly, making the best rational decision I can with the information I have, and that was to start testosterone, regardless of not possibly not being able to have biological kids in the future. I definitely remember, especially at the end, towards the end of last year, October, November, December, I had a lot of suicide thoughts, and it's not because my entire life's gone to shit and like I've hit complete rock bottom and there's nothing else to live for. That's not why I experience these thoughts. whenever I personally experience suicide thoughts, right? Like after I've gone through all this therapy and I know how to manage my mental health and whatnot, the reason why these thoughts come up, is because my body and mind are screaming at me, Lev, you need to change something about your life. You can't keep living this way. And I've noticed that it usually only comes up when when I've been putting off things, or I've been suppressing things for too long, or that my mind body have no other way of screaming at me to change something. It usually emerges as a sign of, Lev, you need to change something about your life. You cannot keep doing this. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep lingering here and screaming at you until you do something about it. That's what it's saying, essentially. You need to change something about your life. Like that. That's for me personally. It's not because I actually want to end my life. It's a message telling me to take action and not sit on my ass any longer. And also, I did all of the things, like when I experienced these really rough periods with these very intense thoughts, I did all of the normal things, like people expect. I exercise regularly, I eat healthy, I get enough sleep, I talk to friends a lot. I talk to friends a lot. I kept in contact with people. I went outside. I did all of these things to look after my body and mind. Yet the thoughts and the misery and the feeling stuck was not gone. It kept haunting me for weeks on end. And there were periods where it was less intense, but then it was always there. And the only thing that helped me get out of this rut was to start testosterone. And I've noticed that ever since I started testosterone, I'm a lot happier, more content with myself. I'm more open to different things in life. As in, I'm more open to trying new experience, trying new things, explore the world more, putting myself out there more. Because for those of you who haven't seen my previous videos, I see my life as in a giant puzzle with all of these different pieces, and all of these pieces interact with each other. Or I see it as a giant spider web where all of the domains and aspects of my life link with each other. And if one domain goes to shit, it will affect other domains of my life in ways which I may realize, and in ways which I may not realize. That's why, even like just the thing the fact that I wasn't on testosterone and that I was dysphoric, especially with my voice. I was dysphoric with my voice. I was being misgendered. I didn't pass as a guy when I spoke. People looked at me and I passed, and I start talking, and then I don't pass. All of these things messed up my entire life. It threw it. It caused chaos in all domains of my life. And ever since I went to testosterone, everything just started getting better. And the only thing I changed was going on testosterone, and kept other things in my life the same. Keeping healthy, exercising, all of that. I kept all of that the same. The only thing I changed was going on testosterone. Essentially, me lying to myself, like I did before I came out as trans, denying the fact that I'm trans because I'm scared, saying I'm not trans, um, or I've just been avoiding talking about testosterone because I was scared, avoid even taking action to start possibly getting on hormones, just avoiding things that my body, mind, and spirit need, avoiding it, suppressing it, lying to myself about it, doing any of this. My body and mind have ways of tormenting me until I change something or take action that will lead me to good. There are definitely things that I know now at this point in my journey that I wish my younger self knew, and this section of the video I'm gonna dedicate not only to my younger self, but to any of you folks out there who may be thinking of starting medical transition, and just unsure of it, and it's okay to feel scared of it as well. So the first thing I would say is acknowledge your feelings. Like, it's okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel confused. It's okay to feel uncertain. It's okay to feel like you're in the dark about these things and that you're traveling through unfamiliar territory, because it can be quite challenging and it can be quite scary because it can be confronting, and confrontation isn't always easy. So yeah, it's okay to feel your feelings. It's okay to acknowledge that you're feeling a certain way, and it doesn't mean that you're less than human, or if you're experiencing the more challenging emotions, it doesn't mean that you are weak or anything like that. And it's okay to cry as well. If you need to cry, cry. Like, it's okay to cry. Again, it doesn't make you weak or like a coward or not brave or like someone who can't stand up for yourself or fight for yourself, or like, I guess all of these negative stereotypical things that's associated with crying and being vulnerable. Second thing I really wanted my younger self to know is it's okay to do research and it's okay to reach out for professional support, even if it's to chat about things. Like, just because you go to like a GP to talk about it, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go on hormones. It's like, if you see a GP you have to go on hormones, like, that's not it at all. You can reach out to your health professional to discuss hormones, like maybe the different effects, different changes to the body, or if you're experiencing a medical condition, how testosterone might play into that. Just having a conversation around that. It's okay, because it's better than, I guess, sitting in the uncertainty like I did and ruminating in my own head about what if this, what if that, what if that. When it's we can go to a health professional and talk about it. Um, Research is good too, but I found the health professional really was better because he took into consideration my personal medical conditions that I was experiencing and how testosterone may affect that. um yeah, and it's okay to ask questions and ask for support as well. Again, it doesn't mean that if you start the conversation around hormones that you have to go on hormones. Like, you might have a conversation around hormones and find that it's not for you at this current point in your journey. It might not be appropriate for this current point in your journey, or there are different barriers that prevent you from accessing hormones, for example, financial, or there is a lot of stigma and or shame in in your community about being trans and on hormones, or whatever it may be. Like, it's okay to have a conversation, realize maybe it's just socially transitioning is enough for me. I don't feel like medical transition is very helpful for me right now as well. Like, it's okay to just have a conversation about it with health professionals. And yeah, it doesn't mean you're obligated to go on hormones, or yeah, it doesn't mean. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, just because you have a conversation with your GP or health professional about hormones, that means that you have to go on hormones. Another thing I would say is it's okay to reach out to other trans and gender diverse folks for support as well. Not necessarily like individualized medical advice, but more like knowing that these humans may be going through a similar experience as going through a similar experience as well, and we're all in the same boat together. So I found so it really can help with reducing feeling like I'm the only one feeling this way, I'm the only one going through this experience. And also, watching YouTube videos like possibly this one of people sharing their stories can also be a really helpful resource. And also, there's a lot of blogs and podcasts out there. I'm sure there are trans podcasts. I haven't actually Googled it, but I'm sure there are some, hopefully, of people sharing their experiences as well. Um, you are definitely not alone. If you're watching this and you've gone this far in the video, you're definitely not alone in your experiences. Even if it may feel that way, even if there's no one you know of or have connections to that share similar experiences, just know you're definitely not alone. Me and all the other trans and gender diverse folks are with you in the fight. You're definitely not alone in this arena against the cishet world where we this is completely going off topic, but where we are like the minority in society, and the world is not in our favor and is disadvantaged against us. You're definitely not alone in all of this at all. The next important thing I'd say is it's okay to acknowledge what your mind, body, spirit, cultural needs, like whatever it may be. It's okay to acknowledge your own needs and put yourself first. Like it seems like simple, but it can be very, I guess, challenging to implement into our lives. I definitely know that for me, definitely, it's very hard for me to put myself first and not put everyone else I care about before me. So it is okay to put yourself first, acknowledge your needs, your physical health needs, your mental health needs, your spiritual health needs, your emotional health needs, whatever domains of life that is important to you. It's okay to acknowledge all of your needs and honor it first. It's okay to honor your own needs, and it does not make you selfish. It does not make me selfish. It does not make you selfish. It doesn't make any of us selfish for putting our own needs first and honoring ourselves. Another thing, I guess, a tip that could be helpful is wait, my button just undone. I have to fix it now. Yes, another thing that could be helpful is, I guess, seeing how your body, mind, spirit, etc., what are the needs of it, like what common themes come up. Like for me, um in China, did like avoid this whole going on testosterone thing. I experienced a lot of emotional outbursts and I got really frustrated and angry, and I just like lashed out, and because all of my pent up emotions in the bottle could not the bottle could not take the pressure anymore, and it just like it was chaotic, I should say. So just noticing your in the like the patterns in how your body responds to thing, your thought patterns, what comes up regularly, what are the themes, and what are these themes or repeated events, manifestations of certain symptoms, because I experienced a lot of physical health symptoms as well that were not medically explained. So like for me, there is a pattern of these thoughts, how I feel, my nervous system responding in this way, and physical health symptoms manifesting. So just for you, it could be something different, but it's important and can be helpful to, I guess, keep a track of how often things happen, the patterns, and what the patterns may be saying or indicating. It, it could be your subconscious mind, like me, telling you that you need to do XYZ to live the best life you can, be the best version of you that you can. But yeah, just I guess in a summary of what I've been trying to say with this section or this recent section is pay attention to the possibly different ways that your mind, body, and spirit are communicating to your subconscious mind. The conscious mind is essentially the mind where we're aware of things, because we have unconscious and subconscious mind that do things without us being aware of it. Um, so yeah, it could be a pay attention to different ways your body's communicating with you, and it's okay to acknowledge that as well. I think this video has gone very long, and yeah, I want to end it here. I hope that this has helped at least one person out there, like I always say with my videos, if it helps at least one person out there, I'm happy. And I hope that through sharing some of my experiences, it can help some of you folks out there feel less alone in your experiences, or even maybe give some guidance on you navigating through your personal journeys. Um, yeah, thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next video.